Hey, what's up, everybody? This is B.Howard. It seems a lot of people are speaking on my behalf. I've never self-proclaimed to be Michael Jackson's son. I'm definitely not suing the estate. I've been taken care of very well.
It began as just another rumor, one of the countless whispers that always followed Michael Jackson. But this time, the story didn't fade away. Brandon Howard, a singer and producer long compared to the king of pop, has found himself at the heart of a revelation that no one saw coming. Brandon, better known as B.Howard, has lived his life in the shadow of whispers, rumors, and shocking claims. For years, there were rumors that he was more than just a talented artist with striking similarities to the king of pop himself.
DNA test, Brandon Howard's press conference. You know about Brandon Howard, better known as B. Howard. He is supposedly Michael Jackson's secret child.
Now, after a jaw-dropping DNA test result, the truth has shaken the Jackson legacy to its core. Reports reveal B. Howard is cutting all ties after allegedly being confirmed as Michael Jackson's secret love child. But is this the final word or the start of a deeper mystery? Join us as we dive deep into the DNA results, the family ties, and the mystery surrounding Michael Jackson's alleged secret love child. The test that shook the Jackson legacy. Brandon B. Howard is truly a music prodigy who has successfully transitioned from being a skilled record producer to a prominent recording artist. This talented musical genius shares his unique sound with the world, leaving listeners with an unforgettable experience. B. Howard has journeyed far since he was just 6 years old, when he played on a shoebox with a pair of drumsticks, to now showcasing an incredible vocal and dance energy that sets him apart from today's artists. Influenced by legendary musicians like Nat King Cole and Frank Sinatra, the self-taught keyboardist realized he was meant to pursue his passion for music. He has collaborated with notable artists such as Ne-Yo, Trey Songz, and international sensation Kumi Koda, while also taking great pride in his company, 6 Point Entertainment, alongside his partner Johnny Forster. Howard, whose full name is Brandon Howard, has been the focus of media speculation due to his likeness to pop icon Michael Jackson and his ties to the singer's close associates. The star was born and grew up in the musical atmospheres of Los Angeles and Chicago. Although Brandon seriously thought about pursuing a career in finance during his younger years, his heritage, as the saying goes, took charge. His grandmother, Josephine Howard, was a singer for the Caravans, the first American group whose gospel songs were aired on mainstream radio. His mother, Mickey Howard, is a well-known singer and songwriter who was managed in the 80s by the leader of the famous Jackson family. The young man absorbed all the finest traditions of the music that surrounded him from a young age. Being a fan of the king of pop, he infused his creations with recognizable Jackson-like vibes, blending them with his own lyrical and melodic style. Over the years, B. Howard has put out many singles that have made it onto respected charts, including the legendary Billboard 200. In 2010, he collaborated with other artists to release the anthem for the FIFA World Cup in South Africa, K Nako, as a tribute to Nelson Mandela. The United States is joining Russia's version of the Eurovision Song Contest, along with a large number of dictatorships. The U.S. is sending Brandon Howard, known by his stage name B. Howard, to Intervision, which is set to take place in Moscow this September. The organizers of Intervision announced his participation in a post on Telegram, stating that Howard's music transcends borders and unites cultures. Intervision, which was the Soviet-era alternative to Eurovision, took place from 1965 to 1980 in communist Czechoslovakia. In 2025, Russian President Vladimir Putin revived it, appointing Deputy Prime Minister Dmitry Chernyshenko as the chairman of the organizing committee. Establishing his own identity beyond being the son of Mickey Howard and the various media speculations about the late Michael Jackson being his father, this remarkable talent is optimistic about his future in the music industry. Howard has often been compared to the late pop star Michael Jackson, leading to a lot of speculation. In 2014, FilmOn.com reported that they had proof of paternity. However, the tests later turned out to be inconclusive. In March 2014, singer Akon spoke with Larry King and, as someone who has collaborated with both Howard and Jackson, expressed his belief that Howard is Michael Jackson's son. In a 2021 interview with Vlad TV, Aaron Carter also stated that B.Howard is Michael Jackson's son. There's a 99.9% likelihood that Howard is the illegitimate son of Michael Jackson. At least, that's what people are saying after a supposed DNA test showed a match. The results of the test, which were obtained by Alki David and his company, indicated that Brandon Howard is almost definitely Michael's son. David mentioned on TMZ Live that he got MJ's dental impression from a Beverly Hills doctor at an auction. Although the impression is over 30 years old, David claims it still contains DNA. Brandon, who now goes by B.Howard and resembles Michael, in both looks and behavior wasn't there for the reveal, but David claims he had Howard's DNA, and it matched perfectly. David didn't disclose which lab conducted the DNA test, but he stated that it showed a clear match. The DNA results shook the world, but the whispers began long before. Michael's own lyrics in Billie Jean fueled suspicions of a secret child. Was the king of pop confessing through music, or was it just coincidence? Let's uncover the Billie Jean theory that refuses to fade. Unmasking the Billie Jean mystery. Brandon's mother, Mickey Howard, is a well-known gospel singer who had a connection with Michael. Back in 1982, she was known as Billie. Interestingly, a year later, Michael released Billie Jean, which features the lyrics, "Billie Jean's not my lover," and "The kid is not my son." As for B. Howard, he's trying to separate himself from all the drama, claiming he had no involvement in it. Michael Jackson's brothers have stepped up, dismissing the claims about the DNA test that supposedly shows Brandon Howard is Michael's long-lost son. A representative for the brothers explained that they all agreed the claim was ridiculous, and they had several reasons for it. First off, a source mentioned that in Michael's 50 years of life, he never once talked about having any children besides Prince, Paris, and Blanket. Other people who were close to Jackson during his life have confirmed this to TMZ. Additionally, a source revealed that the brothers only met B. Howard once, back in 2012, when he visited backstage for a meet and greet after one of their concerts. He never hinted that he could be related to them. The brothers also pointed out that Joe had a professional connection with Howard's mother, but he never mentioned anything about it, and they believe he would have, especially after Michael passed away. The representative referred to the alleged DNA test as baseless hearsay. Michael Jackson's newly claimed alleged son will have to take care of himself for the rest of his life, as there's absolutely no way he can access the money from MJ's estate. Brandon Howard claimed he wasn't interested in pursuing the estate, which is a smart move, because Michael ensured that he and everyone else in the world, except for Prince, Paris, and Blanket, couldn't touch MJ's wealth. According to Michael's will, his 3 children, along with some charities, are the ones who will ultimately receive his money. Michael also made certain that Catherine would be taken care of during her lifetime. Going through Michael's 2002 will, he clearly stated that, except as otherwise provided in the will or in the trust, he had intentionally omitted to provide for his heirs. Legally, that was the end of the story, because MJ had every right to disinherit anyone he chose, even his own children. What he did was ensure that Paris, Blanket, and Prince were provided for, and even if someone else could prove they were fathered by the singer, it was going to be tough luck. The drama involving Michael Jackson and Howard just keeps getting stranger, as expected. Just a day after a DNA test supposedly confirmed that the Billie Jean singer had a child with Mickey Howard, resulting in aspiring musician Brandon Howard, the internet has strongly pushed back against this story, presenting two conflicting theories about what was really happening. The first theory, suggested by TMZ, claims that the company behind the test, Film On, is completely lying and fabricated the whole thing. They argued that they haven't been able to find the company in Ireland that supposedly conducted the test. And oddly enough, the logo on the results could be downloaded from Google Images. Film On once admitted to spicing up the paperwork to make it look more appealing, but they were still firmly denying that they changed the actual results in any way. The second theory, proposed by the New York Daily News, suggests that MJ wasn't the father. Instead, it was Joe Jackson. The outlet doesn't comment on whether Film On verified the results, but it pointed out that Joe was Mickey Howard's manager in the early 1980s, and there were rumors back then that he might be the father. If that was true, it could explain why Michael so strongly denied being the father in Billie Jean, the famous song that seems to directly reference the situation, especially since Howard sometimes went by the nickname Billy. Even years after his tragic passing, much about MJ's life and actions remained a mystery. It made sense that these random paternity issues would also linger in the gray area. Many people now think that Mickey Howard is actually the inspiration for Billie Jean, with the well-known lyrics, "Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one, but the kid is not my son." Michael Jackson created the song Billie Jean for his iconic 1982 album, Thriller. In his autobiography, Moonwalk, 1988, he mentioned that the inspiration for the song came from the groupies and fans he met during his time with the Jackson 5. He clarified that there was never an actual Billie Jean. The character in the song was a mix of various women his brothers had dealt with over the years, and there were many Billie Jeans out there. Michael pointed out that Billie Jean wasn't meant to represent a single individual, but was more of a symbol for the obsessive and sometimes delusional women who would follow him and his brothers around. The name was chosen because it had a catchy and universal ring to it, perfectly matching the idea of a mysterious woman who makes false accusations. Even though Michael provided his own explanation, rumors still connected Billie Jean to real-life women. Some people thought it was about a woman who stalked him and even sent letters claiming he was the father of her twins. Others linked it to Mickey Howard, who Joe Jackson called Billy when he was managing her career in the 1980s. One thing was certain, Mickey Howard definitely had a connection with Jackson, as she was represented by Joe Jackson, the patriarch of the Jackson family when she was a gospel singer. TMZ reported that she also went by the name Billy back in 1982. The following year, Jackson released the song Billie Jean. Her son, Brandon Howard, was born in 1981 and reportedly does not have a birth certificate, according to The Hollywood Gossip. There's also a theory suggesting that Brandon Howard might actually be Joe Jackson's son, making Michael Jackson his brother. A source informed a news outlet that they had been hearing for years that Brandon was Joe's son. Additionally, singer Augie Johnson claimed to be Howard's biological father, asserting that Mickey Howard never cheated. He stated in an interview that he knew Brandon was his son. He was there in the delivery room. He had the pictures of him being born. He got the records. He got everything. He further explained that before him, Mickey wasn't with anyone else. She didn't even know Michael at that time. He said he loved his son, and he could do whatever he likes. He was not tripping on any rumors. All he wanted was for Brandon to have a successful career. Augie Johnson mentioned that he was in a long-term relationship with Mickey Howard. and they had 2 songs together, named Brandon and Nicholas. He stated that before he came along, Mickey wasn't dating anyone. She didn't even know Michael back then. Mickey was never romantically linked to Michael. He didn't even know who she was. Johnson also noted that his son Howard did know Jackson prior to his passing in June 2009.
My brother, the legendary king of pop, Michael Jackson, passed away on Thursday, June 25th, 2009 at 2:26 p.m.
and made regular visits to his Neverland estate. He explained that they had a relationship with the Jacksons, a professional one in the entertainment industry. The first time Brandon met the Jacksons was when he was 3 and Nicholas was just 1, and they visited Jermaine's office. He met Michael a few times at his ranch. Mickey took them there, and sometimes Jermaine did too. While many people have been discussing the rumored love child, Howard has insisted that he did provide his DNA for testing, but wants no further involvement in the situation. He explained that it seemed like a lot of people were talking for him, so he kept it brief and straight to the point that first, he did not contact TMZ, he didn't release any story, nothing at all. Second, he never claimed to be Michael's son. Third, he was definitely not suing the estate. He further explained that he had been well taken care of and he also earned his own money. Fourth, it was true he took a DNA test.
Work. He took that and he somehow got some DNA from Brandon Howard, and it was 99.9% match.
But it had nothing to do with any of what people were speculating. He swore on his life. The similarity between Howard and the singer from Thriller is really surprising. It was so noticeable that rumors have come up suggesting that if Michael Jackson isn't Howard's dad, then Joe Jackson, the head of the Jackson family, might be. Given the ongoing doubts about who the real father of Michael Jackson's 3 kids is, fans might never find out the truth about who Jackson actually fathered. But the Billie Jean mystery is only half the story. The song may have planted the seed, but the speculation took root when one woman's name entered the conversation. To truly understand where these rumors point, we need to meet the woman at the center of it all, R&B star Mickey Howard. Who is Mickey? And could she really be the mother of Michael Jackson's alleged love child, Brandon Howard? Let's find out. Mickey Howard, the woman behind the rumors. Mickey Howard has made it clear about her connection with the Jackson family, stating that Michael Jackson was really just a longtime friend. In an interview, she mentioned that she loves and supports her son, as well as the Jackson family. The Jacksons, who have been her dear friends for a long time, were wonderful people and have always shown her love and support in her career. She also mentioned that regarding the claims, she couldn't talk about it right now because it's standard in their industry for celebrities to have non-disclosure agreements, and they are not suing anyone. She added that she was not Billie Jean. Howard was born in Chicago, Illinois. She is the daughter of gospel singers Josephine Howard from the Caravans and Clay Graham from the Pilgrim Jubilees. Howard's mother introduced her to the homes of various stars like Aretha Franklin and Mavis Staples. When she was 9, Howard and her family relocated to Los Angeles, where her mother sang in a choir directed by James Cleveland, a member and arranger of the Caravans. Among the notable visitors to Howard's home in Los Angeles were Albertina Walker, Shirley Caesar, Billy Preston, and Fats Domino. Howard was also inspired by jazz legends such as Billie Holiday, Dinah Washington, and Nancy Wilson. As a teenager, she frequently went to Maverick's Flat, a well-known nightclub in Los Angeles that hosted music acts like Rufus and Chaka Khan, and Earth, Wind and Fire, who played a significant role in her ambition to become a professional singer. At 16, she took part in a teen pageant. After the event, she met singer Augie Johnson, who was the leader and a member of the R&B group Side Effect. and he started collaborating with Howard on music. Johnson captivated Howard and eventually selected her as the group's vocalist. After some time, Howard officially joined Side Effect in 1979, taking the place of Sylvia St. James. Her time with the group lasted a few years. With Mickey as the new female vocalist, Side Effect released the album After the Rain in 1980. Unfortunately, the album did not perform well on the charts, nor did the following two Elektra albums, Portraits and All Aboard. As a member of Side Effect, the group's most memorable tracks include I Can't Play and a cover of Toto's Georgie Porgy, which were minor R&B hits in 1983 and 84. During this period, she also had a child with Johnson. Besides singing with Side Effect, she provided background vocals for artists like Wayne Henderson, Roy Ayers, Stanley Turrentine, and many others. By 1985, Howard felt it was time to start her solo career and left the group. She created a demo that got her a recording deal with Atlantic Records. Howard began working on songs for her debut album, Come Share My Love, which was released in 1986. The album, produced by Lamel Humes, reached number 19 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums chart. The lead single, Come Share My Love, became her first hit in the US, peaking at number 5 on the Billboard R&B Singles chart. By fall, the next single was a cover of Glenn Miller's 1940s song Imagination, which peaked at number 13 on the R&B Singles chart and marked Howard's first music video. With 2 successful singles from the album, she kicked off her first concert tour in 1987, opening for the funk band Cameo. The last single, Come Back to Me Lover, was released and reached number 33 on the R&B Singles chart. In November 1987, Howard launched her second album, Love Confessions. Lamel Humes produced several tracks and became a close friend, collaborating with Howard on future albums throughout her career. Her success continued with 2 more top 10 R&B singles from this album. The soul ballad Baby Be Mine, produced by Nick Martinelli, climbed to number 5 on the R&B Singles chart. The second single, That's What Love Is, a duet with the popular R&B singer Gerald Levert, the lead singer of the R&B group Levert, also peaked at number 5 on the R&B Singles chart. Levert produced the duet and the final single, Crazy, which reached number 38 on the R&B Singles chart. Howard and Gerald's group Levert went on a US tour to promote their albums. They were also in a romantic relationship, which inspired one of Howard's biggest hits from her third album. On March 30, 1988, Howard received a Soul Train Music Award for Best New Artist. In November 1989, Howard put out her third album, which was self-titled Mickey Howard, marking her last album with Atlantic. After its release, the album became quite popular, reaching number 4 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums chart. This album turned out to be Howard's most successful one yet. While recording, the romance between Howard and Gerald Levert led to the creation of songs like I'll Be Your Shoulder, Mister, and Just the Way You Want Me To, all written and produced by Levert. Howard achieved her first number 1 hit with the single Ain't Nothin' in the World, which topped the R&B Singles chart. She also had 2 more top 5 R&B hits from this album. The tracks Love Under New Management, which was written during her relationship with Gerald Levert, reached number 2, and a cover of Until You Come Back to Me, That's What I'm Gonna Do, hit number 3 on the R&B Singles chart. By 1992, Howard was no longer with Atlantic as a recording artist. She had signed with Giant Records instead. On September 15, her 4th studio album, Femme Fatale, came out. The album reached number 7 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums chart. Most of the album was produced by Lamel Humes, who also created the first single, Ain't Nobody Like You. This song hit number 1 on the R&B Singles chart, marking Howard's second chart topper in that category, and it reached number 64 on the Billboard Hot 100. A second single, along with a music video for Release Me, was also released. This song got some radio play and peaked at number 43 on the R&B singles chart, as well as number 35 on the R&B and hip-hop airplay charts. Additional singles were released as promotional, radio-only tracks, including Shining Through, produced by David Foster, and But I Love You, produced by Lamel Humes. In Spike Lee's biopic film Malcolm X, Howard played the role of jazz singer Billie Holiday, performing Holiday's song, I Cover the Waterfront. She had always been deeply inspired by Holiday's vocal style and music. In the fall of 1992, Mickey chose to honor Billie by recording covers of her favorite classic songs. While recording, she also secured a role in John Singleton's film Poetic Justice, which starred pop singer Janet Jackson and hip-hop artist and actor Tupac Shakur. In December 1993, Mickey's fifth studio album, Mickey Sings Billie, was released under Giant Records, and it peaked at number 74 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums chart, making it her lowest charting album. David Foster and Lamel Humes were the ones who produced the cover tracks. There weren't any official singles released. Instead, a radio promo of Don't Explain was played on R&B and jazz stations across the U.S. By 1997, Howard had left Giant Records. Her sixth studio album, Can't Count Me Out, which was her first in 4 years, came out under a new label called Hush in May. This album was the first one that didn't make it onto the Billboard 200 or the top R&B and hip-hop albums charts. It featured duets, including a cover of Stevie Wonder's I Love Every Little Thing About You, with Terence Trent D'Arby, a duet of Can't Count Me Out with her father Clay Graham, and a remake of Janis Ian's At 17. Most of the album was produced by Lamel Humes, including a cover of the jazz standard You Don't Know What Love Is, and a song called Sunshine, written by singer Brenda Russell. In March 2001, Howard put out her seventh album, 3 Wishes, under Peak Records. Even though there were no official singles released, the song Nobody got some radio airplay. The album reached number 60 on the Billboard Top R&B and Hip-Hop Albums and number 25 on the Independent Albums chart. All the songs were produced by new producers, except for Bring Your Loving Home, which was produced by Howard's good friend Lamel Humes. This album was nominated for Best Traditional R&B Vocal Album at the 2002 Grammy Awards. After 5 years since 3 Wishes, Howard signed with Shanachi Records in September 2006, and her 8th studio album, Pillow Talk, was released. The album reached number 60 on the Billboard Top R&B and Hip-Hop Albums chart. All the songs were covers of her favorite classic R&B tracks, featuring artists like Ann Peebles, George Benson, Nancy Wilson, Natalie Cole, The Main Ingredient, and Boz Scaggs. Howard played a role as the album's producer, collaborating with Kim Waters, Danny Weiss, and Chris Davis. Currently, Howard is focused on reviving her career after taking a break to raise her kids. She went on a world tour with Roy Ayers and the Jazz All-Stars. In June 2008, she released her 9th studio album, Private Collection, under her own independent label, Branica Records. This album featured 10 tracks, including 5 new smooth jazz and R&B songs that she co-wrote and co-produced with Chucky Booker, along with 5 jazz standards co-produced with Brandon McCoon. In addition to Booker, the album included works from composers like Hoagy Carmichael and Johnny Mercer for Skylark, Sammy Fain, and Paul Francis Webster for Secret Love, Henry Mancini and Johnny Mercer for Days of Wine and Roses, Elise Boyd and Murray Grand for Guess Who I Saw Today, and Irving Berlin for Counting Your Blessings. In November 2010, the documentary Unsung, Mickey Howard was aired on TV One. In February 2011, TV One also aired Way Black When, which highlighted the contributions of African Americans in entertainment during the 1970s, 80s, and 90s.
She's such a fighter, and she kept going and kept starting over, essentially. You know what I'm saying? It's like no matter what happened, it's like it doesn't end here for me.
Mickey Howard was featured in the segment about the 1980s, which was hosted by comedian Nicey Nash. During this segment, Howard performed her hit R&B song, Ain't Nobody Like You. In March, she kicked off a U.S. tour called the Throwback Unplugged Tour, alongside Drew Hill, K-Ci and JoJo, and Belle Biv DeVoe. In 2015, Howard released an EP titled I Choose to Be Happy, which includes 4 new tracks, including the single Panther featuring rapper Too Short, as well as some of her greatest hits re-recorded live. The EP will also feature a new song called I Choose to Be Happy, and a tribute to Marvin Gaye named Soon I'll Be Loving You Again, featuring her son Brandon Howard and David Ruffin Jr. While working on this project, Howard has been touring across the U.S. and internationally, performing the first single, Panther, along with her classic hits. In September 2015, Howard released her second live album, Mickey Howard, Live in Concert. This album showcased her performances of hits from her career, along with cover versions of songs like My Man, Pillow Talk, This Bitter Earth, and Marvin Gaye's Soon I'll Be Loving You Again. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.